Are we waiting on Bill still?
Yeah, I don't think he's logged on yet.
Okay. Oh, speak of the devil.
There you go.
All right. I'm gonna wait until my clock. This is Chair Jake Riley. I'm gonna wait until my clock says 3:31, and then I will start to read the lengthy prelude.
Okay.
All right. I am Chair Jake Riley, and the February 10th, 2022 meeting of the Zoning Committee of the St. Paul Planning Commission will now come to order. For the record, the Chair of the Planning Commission has previously determined that it is not practical or prudent for the Planning Commission and its committees to meet in person pursuant to Minnesota Statute Section 16D.02. Considering the COVID-19 health pandemic, it is not feasible for any member of the zoning committee to be present at our regular location. Committee members attending this meeting are doing so by telephone or other electronic means. It is also not feasible for members of the public to attend the meeting at its regular location due to the health pandemic and emergency. Arrangements have been made so that applicants and members of the public may also attend this meeting by telephone or other electronic means. Accordingly, no meeting is being held in City Hall, Council Chambers at 15 West Kellogg Boulevard at this time. Again, this public hearing is being conducted remotely due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This meeting is also being recorded. Even though this hearing is being conducted remotely, the committee's public hearing rules and procedures still apply as if the committee were meeting in its usual place. These rules and procedures are as follows. The zoning committee's recommendations and findings must have a rational basis based upon the St. Paul zoning code and applicable state and federal laws. The zoning committee's actions today are recommendations. They are not final decisions. The committee's recommendations are forwarded to the Planning Commission for final action. The committee's recommendations will be considered by the full Planning Commission at its regular meeting held 1 week from Friday. The Planning Commission's meeting is open to the public, but it is not a public hearing. The decisions of the Planning Commission on conditional use permits, non-conforming use permits, site plans, variances, and other zoning permits are final decisions unless appealed to the City Council. The decisions of the Planning Commission on rezoning applications are only recommendations. By state law, the City Council, following a public hearing before it, makes the final decision on rezoning applications. The following rules and procedures govern today's public hearing of the Zoning Committee. The chair will call the secretary to take attendance by the committee. Committee members will need to respond verbally for the record. Following the roll call attendance, we will vote on the minutes of previous meetings. Committee members, during the meeting, please mute your microphone except when recognized by the chair to speak. Discussion is intended for committee members and staff only, except during public hearing items when the chair invites individuals to speak. Staff will be monitoring microphones and muting committee members and members of the public as needed. Use the chat function only to indicate that you have a question or comment. The chat function is part of the official meeting recording. Type Q for question and into the chat feature when you have a question, and or C or comment if you have a comment. The chair and staff will monitor the chat function so that the chair may recognize committee members and staff in an orderly way. After being recognized by the chair, committee members should state their name before speaking. This helps others in the meeting and assists with the official recording. When the chair calls the committee to vote on agenda items, the secretary will be called to do a roll call. Committee members must respond verbally for the record and vote either yes or no. Cases will be called in the order they appear on the agenda, and the chair reserves the right to limit the length of testimony if deemed necessary. I'll ask the recording secretary to now conduct a roll call of the committee members that are present for this meeting. Each committee member should acknowledge their presence by saying here. Ms. Langer, please take the roll call.
Commissioner Grill,
Here.
Commissioner Hood,
Here.
Commissioner Rangel Morales,
Here.
Commissioner Riley,
Here.
Commissioner Said,
Here.
and Commissioner Tegia.
Here.
7 attending. Sorry, 6.
Thank you, Ms. Langer. Our first item on the agenda is the approval of the January 27, 2022 Zoning Committee meeting minutes. Is there a member of the committee who would like to move approval of the minutes?
Commissioner Sayed, I'll move a minutes to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Said. Is there a second?
Commissioner Grill, I'll second the minutes.
Thank you, Commissioner Grill. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Langer, please take the roll call for the minutes.
Commissioner Grill,
Yes.
Commissioner Hood,
Yes.
Commissioner Rangel Morales,
Yes.
Commissioner Tegia,
Yes.
Commissioner Said,
Yes.
and Chair Riley.
Yes.
6 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Usually I would report on the list of current site plan applications to be reviewed at DSI site plan review team meeting next Tuesday, but the meeting has been canceled as there are no plans to review, so we can now move on to the business of the committee. If you are a member of the public that would like to speak during a specific item's public hearing, you will be asked to identify yourself at the appropriate time. The public shall not utilize the chat for communicating public testimony as it is not considered part of the public record. After I read the item number and title, staff will give an oral report on the item, and then I will open up the floor for committee members to ask questions of staff. After that, I will open the public hearing on the item. All testimony and questions will be addressed to the chair. You may speak in favor or in opposition, and you will be limited to no more than 2 minutes. People who exceed the time limit may have their microphones muted by staff. I will first ask for testimony from those in favor and then those in opposition. You must provide your name and address for the public record. Please mute yourself during this meeting, except during your 2 minutes when you are specifically called upon to speak. You are allowed to speak only once, with the exception of the applicant, who will be allowed an opportunity to respond to the testimony and answer committee questions. I will now proceed to the first case, which is case number 22-021-813, which is rezoning property at 1296 Hudson Road at the southwest quarter at English Street from OS Office Service to B2 Community Business. We have a presentation from Mr. Dermody. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Chair Riley, committee members. I'd like to share just a little background about the case. The subject site is here, 1296 Hudson, at the southwest corner of English and Hudson. Johnson Parkway, you can see is a little bit to the west here. This is a zoning map I have up as well as an aerial. The subject site is zoned OS Office Service, and 2 parcels to the west is zoned the same. All 3 of these were zoned OS in 1975. Subsequently, the building immediately west, I forget that 1286 perhaps, Hudson, was zoned to B2, and now the subject site would also, there's a proposal I have, this one also zoned to B2, which would allow the business here to expand. Obviously, this rezoning is for an entire class of uses, but the purpose here is to allow the construction business at 1286 Hudson to expand eastward, perhaps connect the 2 buildings better, move more of their equipment indoors and that sort of thing. The rezoning is supported by the comprehensive plan and the required findings and staff's estimation. The comprehensive plan designates this area for urban neighborhood, and zoning districts such as B2 can be considered typically at the intersections of collector and arterial streets And although this is not an intersection of a collector or an arterial street, the intent of that comprehensive plan direction is met. This is a historic commercial corner that backs up to the freeway. It's a similar setting to what was envisioned by the comprehensive plan. We have not had any letters of support or opposition, including nothing from the district council, Dayton's Bluff Community Council at this point in time. So staff's recommendation is for approval, and I'd be glad to take any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Dermody. This is Chair Riley again. Are there any questions for Mr. Dermody from the committee? All right, I didn't think that there would be any questions. The applicant is here. Mr. Faraci, do you have anything to add to the staff report? Or anything that Mr. Dermody missed or that you'd like us to know?
Yeah, we're doing this, asking for the rezoning so that we can do a lot split. And Schreiber Mulaney, the property owner to the west, has got has the zoning that we want so that he can buy it. He currently, I let him use my parking lot because he doesn't have enough parking over there, and then he wants to connect the two buildings together. And this would help out for him to expand. I'm 66 and I'd like to retire and sell the building. And we've got a cellular tower in the back there also. And it would help to get it rezoned and to split the property, because it's just a nightmare having to break down the taxes for the cellular tower because it's zoned. I mean, they consider that commercial. The front we converted that to an apartment, and that's kind of considered residential. And then to figure out who owes what on taxes, it'll make it a lot simpler if I can get the rezoning and the lot split. So that's the reason what's driving all this. So thank you.
Great, thank you very much for your additional information. I appreciate it. So I think we'll open the public hearing. And Mr. Fratch, since you did speak, if you could just state your name and address for the record.
Oh yes, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
It's Jonathan Faraci. My address where I live is at 2065 63rd Street East in Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota. 55077.
Thank you. I don't think we have many people, if any, from the public here today, but I will do my due diligence and ask if there's anyone here to speak in favor of this application. I'll do it 3 times just to cover our bases. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this application? And one last time, is there anyone here to speak in favor of this application for the rezoning at 1296 Hudson Road in St. Paul? All right, seeing no one here to speak in favor, is there anyone here to speak in opposition? Anyone here to speak in opposition to the rezoning at 1296 Hudson Road? And last time, anyone here to speak in opposition to this application? Seeing none, I think that I close the public hearing, Ms. Langer. And is there any discussion or anyone like to make a motion from the committee? Commissioner Said, go ahead.
Thanks, Chair. I would like to move staff recommendation for approval.
Thank you. Commissioner Said has moved a a staff recommendation for approval of this rezoning. I need a second.
Commissioner Hood, second.
Thank you, Commissioner Hood. Is there any discussion on this motion? All right, seeing none, Ms. Langer, will you take the roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Hood,
Yes.
Commissioner Said,
Yes.
Commissioner Tagia,
Yes.
Commissioner Grill,
Yep.
Commissioner Ringel Morales,
Yes.
and Chair Riley.
Yes.
6 in favor, 0 opposed.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Fracci, for being here. We will consider this at the Planning Commission meeting next Friday, and then the City Council is who makes that final decision. And that concludes our business for today, so we can all enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to say thank you too. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care, everybody.